Have you ever looked at a really big, messy global problem and just thought, why can't we fix this? Well, a lot of the time, it's because the problem is just too huge, too tangled up for any one expert to solve by themselves. Today, we're going to dive into a different way of thinking that might just hold the key.
I mean, think about something as massive as climate change, right? Can an economist solve it alone with some carbon taxes? Nope. What about a biologist, just by studying endangered ecosystems? Not by themselves. A politician, just by passing a few laws? No way. The truth is, each one of them holds an absolutely critical piece of the puzzle, but not one of them has the whole picture.
And this really points to a huge problem in how we've traditionally set up our world of knowledge, in what we call academic silos. For centuries, we've divided everything up into neat little boxes. History's in this building, physics is over there. The problem is, when you separate the experts, you separate their ideas, and you separate the potential solutions too.
So what if we could just knock down those walls? That's exactly where we find this powerful new approach, a way of thinking that's specifically designed to connect all those separated dots.
This approach is all about collaboration. It starts with the idea that the world's most complicated issues, what some people call wicked problems, they demand a true synthesis of insights. It's not enough to just get different experts in the same room. You have to create something totally new from what they all know together.
Okay, so let's get on the same page. We're using this term interdisciplinary, but what does that really actually mean? At its absolute core, interdisciplinary studies are all about one key word: integration. That's the magic ingredient. It's about taking the knowledge, the methods, the ways of thinking from different fields and literally weaving them together to attack problems that are just way too big for any single field to handle on its own.
Now, you've probably heard a similar word, multidisciplinary, and it's easy to get them mixed up, but the difference is so important. Think of multidisciplinary work like a toolkit. You've got a hammer and you've got a screwdriver, and they're both working on the same project, side by side. But interdisciplinary work, that's like taking the best parts of both to create a totally new hybrid tool that's perfect for a very specific job. Think about something like bioengineering. It isn't just biology plus engineering. It's a completely new integrated field that was born from both. It's about creating a whole new framework.
So that all sounds great in theory, but how does this stuff actually work in practice? What are the principles that make this whole thing tick?
Well, it really comes down to three main pillars. First, collaboration and communication. This is non-negotiable. Experts literally have to learn to speak each other's languages. Second, you got to be flexible. You have to be willing to adapt and change your methods. And third, and this is a big one, you have to embrace complexity. You have to be okay with the fact that these problems are messy and there are no easy answers.
So why go through all that trouble? Well, the goal is to create a holistic lens, a way of seeing the entire problem, not just one little piece of it. This is absolutely critical for tackling everything from healthcare disparities, which you can't understand without economics, sociology, and medicine, to navigating the ethics of AI, which needs tech, philosophy, and law all at the same table.
But look, this isn't some kind of magic bullet. This approach faces some very real challenges in the real world, and it definitely has its critics. So it's only fair we look at the hurdles. Probably the biggest argument you'll hear is about the risk of dilution. The old jack of all trades, master of none problem. Critics worry that if you spread your focus across too many fields, you might lose that deep, specialized expertise that's also super important. And you know what? It's a really valid concern.
And that concern feeds right into these key challenges. A lot of universities are still built around those old school departments, which creates resistance. It can be incredibly hard to keep a project on track when you're juggling so many different viewpoints. And at the end of the day, it's this constant tricky balancing act between knowing a little about a lot and knowing a lot about a little.
But even with all those hurdles, this way of thinking is gaining serious momentum, and there is one huge reason why. Its incredible, transformative potential to unlock completely new ways of seeing the world. Because here's the real payoff. When we actually succeed at breaking down those silos, we do more than just find an answer to a problem. We pave the way for truly innovative solutions, ideas that literally could not have existed if those experts had stayed in their separate corners. And that leads to a much, much deeper understanding of our world.
And I think this sums it up perfectly. The idea is that the key isn't hidden in any single perspective. It's found in the unity of all of them. That's where we'll unlock brand new insights and start to build a future that really gets just how interconnected everything is.
So let me leave you with this question to chew on. If you could connect any fields of knowledge you wanted, I don't know, art and engineering, or neuroscience and economics, or literature and computer science, what big problem would you want to solve? The possibilities, when you think about it that way, are pretty much endless.